As a fellow homeowner who just recently paid off his mortgage, I wanted to make this video for you, giving you 5 tips to help you pay off your mortgage faster. Now, to save you all time, let's skip the long, drawn out intros and get right into these tips. All I ask in return is if you guys could hit that like button down below. It really does help out the video and the overall channel. So for the first tip in today's video, it is to pay extra towards the principal. Duh, right? I know this is common sense, but I wanted to get this one out there first to show you just how crazy this is and just what an extra $100 can do if you apply that to your principal every single month. Let's assume for this example you have a $250,000 mortgage with a 3% interest rate and a 30-year term loan. If you would only make your minimum payments for the 30 years of owning that house, you would end up paying around $130,000 in interest to the bank. Now let's see what only an extra $100 a month applied to your principal would do. Adding an extra $100 to your payment every month shortens your mortgage by nearly 4 years and also saves you $19,000 in interest payments throughout the term of the loan. Now let's say you had a decent amount of cash at the end of the month to apply to your mortgage and want to throw an additional $1,000 towards your principal. Adding an extra $1,000 towards the principal every single month shortens your mortgage by nearly 18 years and also saves you $81,000 in interest payments. So the proof is in the numbers. You can see just what a little bit amount added to your principal every single month can truly do to paying off that mortgage faster. So moving right along to the second tip to help you pay your mortgage off faster is to refinance your home or pretend you did. So another way to speed up this mortgage payoff process would be to trade in your loan for a better one with a shorter term. You can do this at your local bank or credit union, and usually whenever you refinance, you are also going to get a lower rate as well. At least that's what you want to do. You don't want to refinance your home and then refinance it into a larger interest rate. You want to make sure you're getting a lower interest rate as well as lowering and shorting that term amount. Now, using that same example of the $250,000 mortgage, let's look at what a refinance could do to your numbers. So using that same example of the 30-year mortgage, as we said, you would pay around $130,000 in interest payments throughout the lifetime of the loan. But if you end up refinancing to a 15-year mortgage, assuming you have the same interest rate, not only will you be paying off the mortgage in half of the amount of time, but you will also acquire around $70,000 in interest savings from doing that refinancing minus the closing cost. Now, if you already have a low interest rate on your 30-year mortgage, then you can simply pretend to refinance your mortgage. And what I mean by this is you can simply start applying more money to your mortgage as to whatever the 15-year loan amount would be. And with doing this, keeping your interest rate that you have on your 30-year mortgage, you will also be saving the money that you would have to pay out in closing costs in order to refinance your mortgage to that 15-year term. All right, now moving along to the third tip on how you can pay off your mortgage faster is by having monthly budget date nights. Now, if you live in your home with your significant other, one thing I think is very important is tracking the amount of money you have going out every single month. And the best way you can do this is by setting up a monthly budget meeting. There's names for monthly budget parties, monthly budget date nights, whatever you want to do. Try to make this fun and not so boring. And what I mean by that is schedule a day for you and your significant other. And if you happen to be single, schedule a day to take yourself out to a place where you like to go eat. A nice place to go eat dinner. And then while you're eating there, talk about your budget, talk about what you have spending for the upcoming months, and figure out where you can save additional money every month that you can then apply to your mortgage. Because when you can find money in your budget, that's more money coming in every single month that you can put towards that mortgage and in return paying it off faster. There is a lot of power in decreasing your expenses. Whenever you actually track your spending every single month, you can see where your money is going and not get to the end of the month and be like, wow, how did I spend this much money? You track every single dollar in order to get your goals met for paying off those loans. Now, a little bonus portion to this third tip here is also to work on increasing your income. See, I feel like everyone nowadays is always talking about decrease expenses, but there's only so much that you can decrease in your expenses. One thing I also like to talk about with people is work on increasing your income, because you can increase your income a hell of a lot more than you can decrease your expenses. Some ways you can do this, and I make videos on this, is starting side hustles, sell things around your house that you don't use or don't need to free up some space, and just figure out different ways to earn some extra income every single month. With you having the ability to lower your expenses and also increase your income, the delta there is what you can use to apply towards your mortgage to pay that off faster. Now, the fourth tip to help you pay off your mortgage faster is to have fun with the journey here, guys, because trust me, when you look at a large number like your mortgage, it's probably one of the most expensive things that you own in your name. So that looks like a very daunting task to be able to hit that goal of paying off the mortgage. So the important thing to note here is to celebrate the small wins. Keep this exciting and enjoy this journey to paying off your mortgage. And some of the ways you can do this is by doing those budget date nights, but instead of making it a date night for budgeting, make it a date night for a celebration. Let's say every $5,000 of principal extra that you pay off on your mortgage, you and the wife or you and the husband or you by yourself is going to go out with some friends and you're going to celebrate that milestone of paying off that extra $5,000. You can also have a little chart where you fill in every bubble is like $1,000, something like that keeps you motivated. And then also up the ante a little bit whenever you hit bigger milestones. When you hit a milestone of an extra $50,000 to $100,000 paid off on your mortgage, take the family on the trip. Spend the extra money. Obviously you have it if you're paying off the mortgage and hitting that milestone. Take a little break. Go on and celebrate yourself and celebrate hitting that milestone by taking a vacation with the family, loved ones, or friends and hitting that milestone and getting you that much closer to paying off the mortgage. Now guys, to finish off this video is probably one of the most important tips that helped my wife and I pay off our mortgage as fast as we did, and that was to buy a house well below your means. Simply what I mean by this is buying a house much cheaper than you can afford. If you guys have looked at the math and figured out that, you can probably afford up to a $350,000 house, well then maybe start looking at homes in the $200,000 range. Just because you can afford a house that's $350,000 doesn't mean that you need to purchase that amount. You can purchase a home at a fraction of the cost that's still functional and meets your needs and still be able to pay off that mortgage that much faster. See, when you buy a home that is well below your means, you're going to have that much extra money at the end of the month to do whatever you want with. You can use this to apply towards the mortgage and help you pay that off faster, but you can also use this extra money to invest and take vacations and do things and spend more time with your family, because when you buy a big expensive house, trust me, yes, it's very cool whenever you first move into it, but once everything's said and done and you get used to it, the newness wears off. So just buy a home that's functional to you. Buy a home that works for you and your family, that has just enough space. You don't need a big, expensive mansion. Whenever you do this, not only can you pay the mortgage off faster, but this will also free up some of your time because you're not stuck working to pay the bills and having the best, nicest house on the street. That is exactly what my wife and I did. See, we were about to build our custom dream home, and then we ended up actually buying a house at a fraction of the cost, and a much older home, I will say. But with us doing that, that is how we were able to pay off our mortgage in literally 2 years. Now, again, I did increase my income and things along the way. That's why I mentioned that in today's video. But instead of spending all of our hard-earned money on this big custom built fancy home, we instead bought a home that was functional for us. It was much smaller, much older, and definitely not as nicer, but it works for us. And we also were able to take chances along that journey, things like me quitting my job and taking more trips, because we didn't have a much larger mortgage payment, while also having that delta of the differences in money to apply towards a mortgage. So guys, those are my 5 tips on how you can pay off your mortgage faster. Again, if you guys found value in this video, please make sure you hit that like button down below. It really does help out the video and the overall channel. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next video, you all take care.